Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here with back at it again, our co-host, Irv. As you guys can see, we got the new banner up top. Let me know, guys, in the comment section what you guys think of the new banner. We are powered by StreamYard, where StreamYard makes the dream yard go. All right, we got 3 segments for you all. First up, we're going to start with the college football bracket. And then we're going to be going over some NFL coaching firings / re-signing / offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators getting out the door. And what should teams do when it comes to some coaching changes. And then finally, we'll be going over the Bradley Beal Suns / Miami Heat / Jimmy Butler situation where something could they could waive the Bradley Beal no trade clause to acquire Jimmy Butler. We'll see if that will fit with the Suns and their team going forward. Before I got to start, guys, if you guys need any lift, leaf, and repair for some landscaping / moving and handyman services, I am a landscaper in the New Jersey area, so contact me at 201-870-8826. My name is Zach Jackson. Let's get right to it. All right, first up, guys, let's go with our college football playoff bracket. And we will be going over what's happening. So let's go. All right. College football, as you guys know, starts up tomorrow for our Final Four. It's it, guys. We got 4 teams left in the college football playoffs, and that is going to start with us tomorrow, where we have number 6 Penn State taking on number 7 Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. This is the semifinals. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Notre Dame has a shot against Penn State. Penn State has a shot against Notre Dame. I'm going to go with Irv to take this for the first time. What do you think is going to happen? Because I gotta think about this one. This is going to be a tough one.
For me, man, I don't really know what to say because I think the real challenge for Notre Dame would have been against Georgia, but the Georgia star quarterback, he was hurt, so wasn't necessarily a challenge, I would say. But for Penn State, I mean, they've had the easiest ride, I think, out of all the teams here and in the whole tournament. I mean, versing the 11th seed SMU, and then versing Boise State, who they got the 3rd seed, they got the bye week, but because they were just that dominant in their own conference. But when I looked at Penn State's games, it was a little nervous. Like, although yes, they got the win. You know what I mean? They succeeded in what they needed to do. They got the big time wins. I saw a little bit of struggle, maybe defensively and offensively. There were some mistakes that weren't supposed to happen, or some defensive mistakes that happened, and it cost a big play. And so when I see them versing a big time school like Notre Dame, let's see if there is any slip ups on both sides of the ball, defense and offense. I mean, phew, man, I don't know why you made me go first, bro. This is hard because
I know, that's why I had you go first.
you know what? Okay. I'm gonna go with Notre Dame because my instincts are just
Oh my God.
I don't know. Just for me, like there was just been mistakes that Penn State has made defensively and offensively against these smaller teams that against a big time team, like let's say for example, maybe against Texas, they did that, or Ohio, or maybe Oregon, like they would have regretted that tremendously. So and Notre Dame, they're good on both sides of the ball, on both defense and offense. So in my opinion, I'll probably go with Notre Dame.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame. That's a ballsy pick, brother.
It's a ballsy pick, but I'm just seeing what I'm watching. Like,
I don't like the way Penn State. I mean, yes, let's say SMU. They won 38-10 against SMU. They won 31-14 against Boise State.
these teams,
They're averaging over 30 points a game. It is technically a very close game. Is it the truth? Can everything happen? I don't know. I would say that Penn State does have a shot because of their quarterback. He is coming back for his senior year as well. But in all case and purposes, I want to go Penn State because it will be pretty cool to see Penn State versus Ohio State in the national championship game.
No, yeah, but without a doubt, I would.
Division rivals. Oh my God, that would be nice. But I don't know, man. I want to go with Notre Dame, but I don't trust Notre Dame. They never come up big in the big games. I'm sorry,
You're right. You're
Georgia
right.
was not a big game. Georgia really
It
wasn't.
wasn't. It was not a
Georgia
big
was
game
not
at
a
all.
big game because there was no the backup quarterback was in. They could not get the job done. It was not a hard game. It was an easy game.
It was an easy game for them, yeah. But at the same time, like it's like I said though, like there was just mistakes like on the offensive and defensive side for Penn State that against these smaller schools that if they would have done it to a big time school, they would have instantly regretted it. So that's why I'm going with Notre Dame because I mean I feel like they're just
to
an
be
equally
honest, the
balanced
same
team.
thing that you said for Penn State. Indiana sucked. No, Georgia sucked without their quarterback. So technically, they also had an easy ride. If you go to the left side, which we'll get to that Ohio State Texas game, we played some crazy stuff. So
Yeah.
I would probably have to say, I don't want to screw it up because I've gotten one game wrong.
I mean,
against Penn State, it was betting against Penn State against
mhm.
SMU. Everything else I've gotten right, so I don't want to screw this up.
Well, listen. If you want me to be honest with you, I mean Notre Dame went against Georgia's defense,
That's true.
so
I just don't like Notre Dame, man. They always screw up me when I pick them in these big games. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I got some inside. I'm gonna look at the spread tomorrow. What's the spread? Okay. Wow, it's a pick 'em. They have Notre Dame covering. They have Notre Dame is projected to win by +1.
wow.
So it's +1 going to Penn State, which means Notre Dame is favored by 1. Because basically a pick 'em. This is hard, man. This is really hard.
Well, I mean, you already could tell. I mean, Notre Dame. What was the score
Against Georgia?
against Georgia? 23-10
Yep.
with a fully healthy Georgia defensive team, which, in my opinion, they were probably one of the best defenses in college football.
Yeah, 23-10. Yeah, but
23. The offense scoring 23 points against one of the best defenses in college football. In my opinion, that's why I'm leaning
but
more.
that game was 17-10. That game was close up until they scored at the end. So I don't know. Personally, man, I'm you know what? I'm gonna go with Penn State.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
and look, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm not saying that Penn State sucks.
I trust Penn State because of their head coach. I like their head coach. I think they're not going to fumble the bag this time, and I think they're going to make it to the national championship. Are they going to win it? Fuck no, not even close. No, it's not happening. No matter if Ohio State or Texas gets in there, they're obliterating Penn State. It's not even close. So sorry, that's not happening. So Penn State, you guys can be happy. You're going to make the national championship. Yahoo! You're going to get absolutely smoked by either Penn State, Ohio State, or Texas. It's not happening. It's going to be one of those shitbag college football national championships. But I'm going to take Penn State to get to the national championship. Now, the next game, my Buckeyes taking on Texas on Friday.
Wow.
7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
When I tell you the Buckeyes are good.
In Texas, man. It's basically a home game for Texas. They're in the Cotton Bowl. They're in Texas. They're able to get what they're supposed to do. Is there even a thought about this? Is there even a thought of who I'm going for? It's the Buckeyes.
I'll let you go ahead.
Come on, man. I just didn't like the way Penn State played against Clemson. Clemson had chances to beat them. ASU should have beat them. And Texas was lucky. Their defense has been shit this entire college football playoffs. I don't like the way they've been playing on defense. They let ASU score 31 points and come all the way back in that game to almost win the game. So I'm taking Ohio State. The way we beat down against Tennessee, the way we demolished Oregon, the number 1 team in the country, and beating everybody, the way we played against those teams, if we play 60% how we played against Oregon, we're killing Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking, this might be a massacre. It might be so bad, just like the Oregon game. It might be, because I was not expecting this from against Oregon. But I'm saying, if Texas doesn't come out and put pedal to the metal and don't stop and do what they're supposed to do, they're gonna get run out of AT&T Stadium, the home of Dallas Cowboys. They're gonna get sent back to their home in Texas. They're gonna get killed if they come in like Oregon, because Oregon did not seem like they were ready for it. I mean, Tennessee at least came back in the first half. The second half they got obliterated. But in the first half against Oregon, it was like we were playing against pee-wee football in freaking middle school. It was like Ohio State was playing against a middle school team. That's how it looked. 34-0 in the first half. They scored at the end, and they scored like 11 points after that. Still, I'm sorry. I'm hoping it's a good game, because I want to see a good game. But it might be a massacre. So, as my pick would be, it's going to be Ohio State versus Penn State for the national championship. What do you got, Irv? Oh, you're an ass. You're a real fucker.
Down they go. We're going with the Buckeyes, bro.
Oh, thank God.
We're going with the Buckeyes, bro.
Oh, thank
Look,
God.
I'm telling you, listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
All right.
Did you not see Jeremiah Smith?
Well, yeah. That guy could be an NFL wide receiver now.
185 yards.
And they didn't throw to him at all in the second half, basically.
He only had 7. He had 7 receptions, and he almost received for almost 200 yards.
That was in the first half.
Yards.
Almost all that was in the first half.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, against the number 1 college football team in America, they scored 41 points and held them to 21. Against Tennessee, they scored 42 points to Tennessee 17. Ohio State is averaging 40 points a game so far in the tournament.
And this is coming off against the Michigan loss where they scored 10 before the season was over.
Like, when you have to understand something, like I'm gonna agree with you with this. Texas's defense was not good against ASU. I was watching the game live.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching it and I was like, wow, either ASU is really, I mean, they did have this, in my opinion, the second best running back in what's his name? Scottaboonie, and he killed them, bro.
Oh,
all of the touchdowns was him. He created it.
He threw it, he caught it, he ran it.
Yeah. So
crazy.
They could even handle one dude.
He turned into Taysom Hill from the Saints.
Right? So then imagine a fully loaded Buckeyes team.
And not to mention, we got 2 backs that can really do some damage. And Henderson, he's a monster. And not to mention Obuke, the slot wide receiver for the Buckeyes. Not to mention freaking Tate, another wide receiver. I mean, we're just loaded. And our defense is a monsters. Dude, the hitting in that game against Oregon and Tennessee was absolutely ridiculous. I have never seen people hit somebody as hard as we did to Oregon and Tennessee. It was pretty crazy. So, to recap, we're disagreeing with Notre Dame versus Penn State. He's taking Notre Dame. I'm taking the Nittany Lions and Penn State. We're both taking Ohio State to advance the national championship. So it's definitely gonna be Ohio State versus either Notre Dame or Penn State. Irv's got Notre Dame. I got Penn State. All right.
Yeah, and that's tomorrow at 7:30.
7:30 is Penn State versus Notre Dame. All right, so now we are going to move on to some NFL news. We got a lot of NFL news, and it all has to do with some coaching changes. And we're going to start off with the Tennessee Titans, where the Tennessee Titans have decided to part ways with GM Ran Cortham. Jaguars request to speak with Buccaneers offensive coordinator Liam Cohan, per report. So the Jaguars request permission to speak with Ben Johnson, per report from the Lions as well.
Isn't he the offensive coordinator?
Yep, and the New England Patriots and Chicago Bears are interested in him. So the Jaguars part ways with their guy. We kind of knew that was going to happen. It was kind of a done deal. I mean, the Titans part ways with their GM. Um, they just their team sucks. I mean, you really can't put sugarcoat it any other way. Their team's garbage, and Tennessee just went with a different spot. But the Jaguars do. Also, the Jaguars request to speak with Liam Cohen. So the Jaguars are looking for something as well because they fired Doug Peterson. So our initial reactions to Tennessee, again, Tennessee just needs to they need a whole rebuild. They're in a bad state. They don't have no answers either at the quarterback position. I don't even think they have a number one wide receiver. They have a lot of problems. The only good thing they have about it is Tony Pollard. Out of the backfield for Tennessee, he's a really good back. He was with Dallas for a couple years. He's a really good back. Other than that, there's nobody else. They lost AJ Brown a couple years back. They lost DeAndre Hopkins. I think it was this year. They lost a lot of people. I think they have Calvin Ridley still, but he's out of his.
He's not. Yeah,
He's
he's not the same
he's not
as
the
he used
same
to be.
as they used to be. So initial reactions, Irv, what do you think of the Tennessee Titans, and are they ever going to get back to what they were a couple years ago with Derrick Henry and in the playoffs and this, that,
I
and the other?
mean, after losing so many people, man, so many people, and then you have this year with the head coach, Mike Varbell.
No, Mike Vrabel, he's been gone.
Vrabel. No, but I'm saying like this season, like you have like the head coach, and then you have the quarterback, Levis.
Will Levis, yeah.
He was. I mean, this season for Tennessee has just not been the greatest. So that's why this draft is extremely important for them. What exactly are they looking for? And in my opinion, I think they need that guy. They need a quarterback. They need the guy that could take them to that next level. Because I'm not saying Travis Hunter is a bad guy. I'm not saying that. He's a great two-way guy. Will he keep it up in the NFL? Who knows? But that's not the argument, though. The argument is he the guy to carry that franchise, or would you rather take maybe a Cam Ward or a Shador to carry that franchise? I mean, I already know in the past podcast we discussed that Shador's already solidified himself in going into New York. Um, but I don't know. I don't know right now because especially now it's really different from when we did our last podcast where the mock drafts is changing and now they got Cam Ward going number one instead of Travis Hunter because of the teams that are winning and losing. So
Yep. I would also have to say something. Remember when we said about Shador Sanders going to New York, and
mhm.
why would the Giants pick Travis Hunter? Watch this. You know the quarterback for Alabama, Jalen Milroe.
Yes.
This is what a report I heard about. They're gonna pick Travis Hunter fourth. They have a pick in the second round. They're gonna take Jalen Milroe in the second round. That means you have
Really?
Jalen Milroe with Travis Hunter and Malik Neighbors.
Now here's the question because when I saw that he declared for the draft,
Uh-huh.
I looked into some feedback. Some people were saying that he was not that good.
Exactly. But this what I'm saying is that he has support now. He has Malik Neighbors. He has a Travis Hunter. So really anybody in that situation. I mean, you can even go with the Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, but we saw him play against Ohio
Yeah,
State.
yeah.
That didn't look so well. But again, that's what if they take Travis Hunter, they're taking a quarterback in the second round. They're probably going to go with the guy from Alabama,
Okay.
which is
Okay.
not a bad take if you're going to go that route. Because you're never going to get a Travis Hunter for the foreseeable future. The guy that can be played two ways. So you might just say screw Shador and go with Travis Hunter at 4, and then in the second round pick up Milroe, and then there's your team, bro. You got a three-way giant in freaking Milroe, Travis Hunter, and Malik Neighbors. Not to mention you get a cornerback out of a wide receiver as well in the pick with Travis Hunter. So I just wanted to let you guys know out there that that's what the Giants might be looking at if they pick Travis Hunter at the 4th spot.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty smart. I mean, I mean I don't really trust that as much. I hope it's not another situation where they pick this guy in the second round from Alabama, the quarterback, and then he just ends up not performing well.
Oh, I
It's
want that to
really,
happen. I hate the Giants.
I mean, I have a soft spot for my hometown team. You know what I
I
mean? I
I
don't
don't
cheer
care.
for them.
I don't
I
want them to
just,
get Shador.
I
Because
mean,
Shador is going to be good.
yeah, and then with him and with Malik Neighbors, that's gonna be a crazy duo. So I'm that's what, bro. But that's what I'm saying though. You need in these teams, you need a leader, and it starts with the quarterback. It starts with the quarterback. We saw in Arizona State where literally the running back controlled everything. That one player, and they still lost. You know what I mean? You could have that running back, but you also need that quarterback to lead the team forward, to play out of his mind. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
really think should the Giants would go with Shador if he's on the board. Now, mind you, they dropped to third.
fourth.
They fourth. Oh my goodness. They still got Patriots in front of them,
Yeah, Patriots
Browns
maybe that.
and Tennessee, right? Those three.
If I'm not mistaken, hold on.
And you already know like these are teams that need quarterbacks. Or at least the
Yeah, you got
Patriots.
Tennessee, you got Cleveland. Oh yeah, Giants are at 3. New England's at 4.
Oh, okay, okay. So you have I know Patriots are first pick and Browns are second and then third is the Giants. Is that the
Tennessee's
order?
first, Browns are second, Giants are third, New England's fourth, and Jaguars are fifth. Raiders are sixth. Jets
Okay.
are seventh, Panthers are 8, Saints are 9, Bears are 10, 49ers 11, um, Dallas Cowboys are 12.
Okay, but if we're talking about just the top four, because that those top four is going to be the most important top four,
Yeah,
because this decides the future of you know the NFL for either one of these teams. So I don't know. I think Travis Hunter might drop to fourth because all of these teams need a quarterback. So I don't know. We just gotta wait and see exactly what exactly we have in store when the draft comes around.
yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, that was a little quick synopsis because I remember that from yesterday. I saw that. So
Hmm.
now we got to get to the Raiders as they have parted ways with their man Antonio Pierce on Tuesday. The team announced Tuesday afternoon that the firing comes less than a year after the organization removed the interim tag from Pierce, making him the 23rd coach in franchise history. After a 4-13 season in franchise history, the club has now elected to move in a different direction. However, it won't be a full regimen change. Las Vegas will keep general manager Tom Telesco on board. Owner Mark Davis will have special help when he decides to begin to reach out to candidates because part owner and 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady is anticipated to be part of the committee who will interview the prospect head coaching hires. So Tom Brady will be interviewing the prospect coaches to ultimately make a decision with Mark Davis on who will be the next coach in Las Vegas. The fact that they've had 23 coaching changes is pretty ridiculous in their franchise. That's a lot of coaching changes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I don't think it was the right decision. I think you only give the guy 1 year. And who'd you give him? You didn't give him a quarterback. You didn't give him nobody. You traded away Devontae fucking Adams. You gave him nobody. Like, what do you expect him to do?
Yeah, gave away Derek Carr too because
You
Derek
got
Carr was there and went to the
O'Connell,
Saints.
dude, at the carding quarterback position. You got Gardner Minshew as the backup. Like, what are we doing here? All due respect to Gardner Minshew, I like him, but he's got to be in a great system in order to flourish. When he was a Philly, he flourished because he was in a great system. In Tennessee, he flourished because they had some good talent. He was able to do some things. But with the Raiders, they suck. Their best player is on defense, and Max
Yeah,
Crosby. That's it.
yeah.
That's all they got.
That's all they have, Max
I don't
Crosby.
understand where you could fire somebody that early when the guy has nobody to depend on. So I think that was a real, a real mistake.
And Zach, if I can interrupt for
No,
just a
you're good.
second, like this is the problem that these teams have. Because if we could really think about it, we could kind of correlate this to the Mike Brown situation, where the Kings do have a terrible season. I think at the time they were on a 5-game losing streak. They
Yep,
just lost to a game winning and one foul 3-point shot
by Jaden
against
Ivey.
against the Pistons, and then and then out of nowhere they just fire Mike Brown. There's some certain situations where the coaches they just can't control anything. They could do their best to coach their team because they're good coaches. Mike Brown was a good coach. You know what I mean? The Raiders head coach, I think he was a just good coach. I just think that he didn't have the pieces. He didn't have the correct players. How is your best player on the defensive side?
You can have one of your best players on the defensive side.
You
He
can
can't
you
be
can
the
have
overall
one of
best
them.
player
He
on
just
your
can't be
entire.
the he can't be the overall. He can't be the only 90 plus player on Madden on your team. I'm sorry, but he can't. There's no way everyone else is going to be below 80 and the only 90 plus person on your team is going to be Max Crosby. I just think that these coaches nowadays, or these owners, are just impatient. They want to win now, and they just don't understand. All they care about is winning. Because if they're going to invest their money into a team, they want results. They want positive results. So then, when they see one bad season with this dude, boom, they switch it to the next one. That's what I think. I think players should own NFL teams or sports teams because they understand it. They know what it takes to reach that level. They have the patience to do so. Not these billionaires that just buy the team because they hear it all over the news, and then when they don't like what they see, they don't like the results, they fire a guy they just hired like last year when they don't really even realize that it's their entire team. It's their whole team as a collective that it's just doing bad.
Yeah,
So I honestly think that I agree with you. Firing the Raiders head coach was a I don't think it was a good move. I think they just needed to focus more on trying to find better players to fit his system. That's just what I think.
no, I agree too. So now we move on to our next one, where the Dallas Cowboys, as we know, weren't able to get to the playoffs this year. Was a pretty bad year. You had Dak Prescott to go down early. You had CeeDee Lamb deal with an injury. You had Micah Parsons with an injury. You had almost the entire star defensive players on the Cowboys injured. Multiple offensive players injured. It was just a root and eat season with injuries. And we still almost had a shot to win, get to the playoffs if we would have beat the Bengals. It would have came down to the last two games, but we had a shot. But now Dallas Cowboys now go to the offseason with the recurrence of where Mike McCarthy will go. According to reports, it appears to be one step closer to returning in 2025 as the Chicago Bears was requested permission on Monday to meet with and interview Mike McCarthy with a 5-year Cowboys coaching contract set to expire on January 14th. But the Cowboys blocked Chicago from doing so on Tuesday. So does this mean ultimately that the Bears will miss that on another coaching candidate in Mike McCarthy? And does this mean that the Cowboys will resign Mike McCarthy? Most likely, yes, because Jerry Jones just likes his people, man. He just wants to
Yeah.
keep the guys that he likes, to keep the guys that he hires. That's why he would never have hired Bill Belichick, because he doesn't want to be told to shut the hell up and we're going to do it my way. He wants to do it his way and his way only. And if that doesn't change, which it might not change for his lifetime, we're going to be a poverty franchise for the next 10 years. I see ourselves maybe winning a Super Bowl in the next 10 years, but in the next 5 years, it's not looking too great because of the fact of the matter is Jerry Jones won't go out and do shit for his team. He'll say he's going to go all in, but his all in is keeping the same guys. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
I want to now. I expressed on our last podcast. Do I want to run it back with this same team next year? Yes, because I think we were rooted from having a shot. I mean, we started out the season with Micah hurt, with our entire defense have hurt, and we couldn't never get on
Injuries,
the
man.
floor.
It's just too
It
many
was
injuries.
ridiculous. And then you didn't have a running game. Now you have now you have a running back. Now you can use play action. Dak got hurt 9 games into the season. So I want to see us fully healthy with what we do in the draft. And if we get Ashton Genty, whole things changes. So I think that would be great. And not to mention with our recap of in free agency with some offensive alignments and defensive guys to back us up, I think that will be go wonders. And then we transition as we go from Mike McCarthy. It looks like he's going to stay. Pete Carroll is now going to be interviewed for the head coaching job in Chicago. We all know Pete Carroll took like a more of a backtrack with Seattle. He's one of the personal guys in Seattle, still with the team, but he's not a coach. And he expressed interest that he wanted to coach in 2025. And it looks like he's going to be coaching if as long as the Chicago accepts it. I think they'll be stupid not to accept it. I think
Yeah,
with
there's no way
all,
they will
with
reject it.
all that, all those weapons and all those offense and defensive abilities and all the capabilities that team has for the future, I think Pete Carroll is a no-brainer. You take that guy, or even Mike Vrabel. You go out on a limb and get the Tennessee ex-coach in Mike Vrabel. I think both of those candidates are great for Chicago. They need
Mm,
somebody that's got some balls. They need somebody that's gonna tell people, hey, this is what we got to do when we got to do it to win some games. I mean, there's no way you end the season 1-9. There's no way you end the season 1-9. They were 4-2. There's no or 5-2. There's no way you end the season 1-9, something like that. There's no way.
yeah.
It's impossible. I'm sorry. You cannot end the season 1-9. And 5 out of those 9 losses, they were lost by less than 6 points. So
Yeah, they just couldn't finish the game.
that's what I think is ridiculous. Where I think that they whatever. But yeah, I mean Mike McCarthy, Pete Carroll. I'm happy. I wish they wouldn't have blocked Mike McCarthy's thing because to be honest, as a Cowboy fan, I want Mike McCarthy out of there. I think Mike Vrabel will do a much better job in his situation. Now we move to Cleveland, where they have fired their offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey on Sunday, one day after the team concluded its regular season. Ken Dorsey, to be honest, did a horrible job. Their offense was horrible. Even though Deshaun Watson went down, Deshaun I think is horrible. I don't think he's going to get back to the way he was. I hope he does. But he did mess with some women and some masseuses. Maybe that's the reason why he's not so good. Is that he's not able to mess around with some women. And that's not even a joke because ever since he hasn't been able to get contact with some masseuses, he's been freaking horrible. So I'm just saying what's out there. And was it horrible that that he had to do that? Yes. Should he have been kicked out of the NFL? I think so. I don't think you mess around and maybe sexually assault a couple of those women and get away with it with only a couple games suspension or a year spent. I don't think you get away with that. I think that's what's wrong with sports nowadays is these guys are put on pedestals and these guys are put on monuments where they can do whatever they want when they want to do it, and there's no repercussions. You could sexually assault somebody and whatever, and you got all this money and whatever the case is, and you get like a 1-year suspension or a 30-game suspension. I think that's the problem with sports nowadays is there's no accountability and there's no reason to get people to change their shit. I think that's a problem that we have. So yeah, Cleveland fired their guy. I think we could both agree, Irv, that it was just something that had to be done. They need some change in there.
Yeah, definitely. Especially since they're not going to draft a young quarterback. I think they're trying to look for probably a better offensive coach that could work well with the new start young quarterback that they might pick up in this year's draft.
Yeah, without a doubt. I agree. I agree. And then the surprise of the surprise, other than you saying that Antonio Pierce got taken out of the coaching position, I would say New England Patriots, Gerard Mayo getting fired after
Yeah,
1 year.
after
I'm
one
sorry.
just
He kind of helped Drake May. Like Drake May really progressed. He really helped out in certain ways. So I think Drake May has been fantastic. And I think the reason for that, I would say Gerard Mayo really put him in a good spot. New England sucks. They have nobody on their team. And then Joe Milton the third, you saw that in the last game of the season. He balled. He killed the other team. He played really well. So I think Gerard Mayo did a really good job with both quarterbacks. The one that they got in the 6th round, and then the one they got in the lower round, that they got in the number 1 thing. So I think they did really well. I just do believe that Jared Mayo really helped out in general with both of those quarterbacks. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think that they would have panned out as best as they could.
um I could agree with that. I think another thing as well is that the Patriots have been put on a pedestal because of like their history, the dynasty that they've created, that duo between Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. After Tom Brady left to go to Tampa Bay, the Patriots just weren't the same team because when Tom Brady left, so did Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, like all of these players either retired or they just moved teams. And then after that, then you had Bill Belichick leave. And then now you bring in Gerard Mayo, Patriots legend, to fill in these shoes. And this goes back to saying that you can't just get success after one season. You can't. Like
Not with a no, not there's no number 1 wide receiver. They
and
don't got a wide receiver or a
exactly, they
running
don't
back.
have the weapons. They don't have the proper weapons. Defensively, I think they still need work. I don't know. I just me personally, like it's like what I'm saying, bro. These billionaires they want results now, and they're not getting it now. Especially the Patriots. Robert Kraft.
He's
He,
so used to winning. That's the problem.
he's so used to winning that he sees that they
It's a
got a
difference between other
four.
teams though, because other teams haven't been able to win, and that I can understand as an owner. But Robert Kraft should be able to give a little bit more leeway. The fact that he was able to fire, and he
Yeah,
even took blame, but he has to do that. But he took blame. He's like, I feel bad because I didn't really put the stuff in the right situations. But there are a lot of good coaches out there, like a Mike Vrabel, like a Pete Carroll. There are some very good coaches out there that can come in and fill with having a lot more experience, Super Bowl experience, playoff experience that can fill in. Who Gerard Mayo was a good coach, but didn't have that experience. So I think that there's some difference there. I would have to agree with you that these billionaires and these owners need to stop with the bullshit and thinking that one season is going to be the season. They got to give it time. But I also think that there's some teams that are just going through it, that are really going through, and they need sympathy, and they try to get that with trying to change coaches. And sometimes you just fire the wrong coach and you
yeah.
move on to it. I think the Jets did that with Robert Saleh. I don't think he was the problem. I think it was the offensive coordinator and the general manager. I think you should, which they fired both of those guys. I think they fired two of those guys, Robert
They
Saleh.
fired general manager and Robert Saleh. I don't think
And
the offensive
no, they
coordinator.
didn't, because that's Aaron Rodgers' guy. I think you should have fired Aaron Rodgers'
Mm.
guy and the GM Douglas, and then kept Robert Saleh. I don't think Robert Saleh was the problem. I think those two guys were the
And
problem.
and then it goes back to you saying that Mike Varbell, he's actually been rumored to be interviewed by he's a potential candidate for several of these teams, like for the Patriots, the Jets, the Bears, and the Raiders. So if we're really talking about Varbell, where does he fit best? Does he
Jets,
fit? He fits best in the Jets. Why?
Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers,
Rodgers,
Devontae Adams,
Bryce
Allen
Hall.
Lazard, Brees Hall, Garrett
Yeah,
Wilson, Sauce Gardner, and he's a
so
defense.
many,
He's a defensive guy first, so he's going to have that defense ready to roll, and he's
and
going.
the defense is good too.
Yeah, they are.
This
They're just
season, I
offense
think,
is
yeah.
so bad that their defense looks so trash because their offense is so bad.
And so I personally think, yeah, I think Varbell really fits with the Jets. I think he'll be great with the Jets. Bears, I mean,
No, I
with
think Pete Carroll's better
I
there.
think I think Pete Carroll will be better because I mean he coached Russell Wilson. I mean,
And I think Caleb Williams got a little bit of a Russell Wilson type of guy. He can run.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, he
He
can
could
run. He can do
yeah.
whatever.
And
Patrick
then
Mahomes is pushing
mhm,
it. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Not even close.
okay.
No, I'm saying a lot of people came out of college and said that he was compared to Patrick Mahomes, Caleb Williams, which is retarded. I don't agree with that.
I
He
would never
reminds me a
do
lot
that.
of a young Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
changing the arm angles, running the football. He's just bigger and stronger than Russell Wilson. He's a monster,
Hmm.
like 6'4". He's huge.
For and then for the Raiders, I don't think he'll fit well with the
Nah,
Raiders. I
nah.
think he's going to be the same situation that
Yep.
happened with Antonio.
I
That,
think I think I think the Raiders should hire Gerard Mayo. I like that.
but I then again,
He's
it's going to be the
he's a
same
young.
situation. It's going to be the same situation no matter what.
They need to help get some draft picks. They need to.
They need players, and I
Yeah,
think once this draft is over. Oh wait, no, they dropped, didn't
yeah, they're
they?
at the 6th spot. They went from the 8th back to the 6th.
And I don't know who's even available at the sixth, according to what the mock draft said on our
I would
last
say I
podcast.
got you right here. They're looking. Well, they're at the 6th spot. Biggest needs are QB, wide receiver, running back, cornerback, and defensive tackle.
Literally, anything,
Everything, like everything.
everything. Like it makes no sense. Just say everything.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly. But our next one we will go to is the Giants. Surprisingly, sticking with um uh
Oh,
sticking with their general manager of Joe Scohan, and will return with Brian Dable as the head coach. I like Brian Dable. Don't get me wrong. I do like him. I don't think he's good for New York.
I don't think he has not gotten like a winning season.
I'm
Literally, the only time was when the Giants won that one game
in the playoffs.
in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
yeah.
Then
And that
after
was a
that, they
fluke.
lost.
That was a fluke
Yeah,
because they won 7 out of their 8 9 close games. They went 8 for 9 in close games that season.
Oof. Damn.
Yeah, so they were really had some good luck that year. And then they ran into Philly and they got absolutely bamboozled. They got belt to ass on that one.
Yeah, no, like
Clearly.
oof.
But yeah,
I really think
my
they needed
initial
somebody
thoughts
else.
is I think Brian Dable should have got fired. But I think because they're going to get a draft, I think after this year, if they do absolutely horrible, then he's getting fired.
Yeah, he's getting fired for sure.
This is his last year. It's kind of like Ryan Day, which why he's playing so well why they're playing so well is like he might get fired if he would have lost first round Tennessee or Oregon again. So I think
And
the fact.
but speak. Oh, sorry. Continue.
No, I'm coughing. My bad.
No, because speaking about Ryan Day, like he's been coaching Ohio State for how long?
6 years, I think.
And no national championship. And
Nope.
then finally they construct a team that is built for the national championship. And then all of a sudden, like they're saying that if he doesn't win it, then he should be fired because they built teams for these reasons. And they're saying that Ryan Day can't make the Buckeyes pass into the finals and win the championship. So so that's what I heard at least.
No, yeah.
Like Stephen A. I think Stephen A. said that that they should fire. I think they if
If he loses.
if he loses, yeah, and he
Well,
doesn't win.
he said they were going to fire him if they lose because of the fact that just the Buckeyes are tired of losing to Michigan and losing and not getting to the Big Ten championship game and then not being in the playoffs for long and not getting to the national championship, and that's why.
Mm.
And to be honest, they're not wrong because he cannot beat Michigan. He's 1-5 against them. But he's like 50 and something. He's like 50 and 9, 50 and 8 in his coaching career games. But he just can't beat Michigan.
And those 8 losses are like Michigan.
Yeah, if the 4 out of the 8 losses are Michigan.
Yeah, literally Michigan.
It's ridiculous. So, and our final segment, guys, we'll move to the NBA where we have to talk about the Phoenix Suns and the move with the Bradley Beal situation and all this crap. Because right now, Bradley Beal was benched on Monday night in the effort to shake up what has been a disappointing season under the first-year coach Mike Budenholzer. It worked at least for one night with the Suns defeating the Philadelphia 76ers. It was a small victory. The 76ers were without Joel Embiid, but still Beal had 25 points, 10 of 14 shooting, and the Suns won his minutes by 14 points. Of course, Beal's move to the bench isn't the only reason his name has been in the news of late. Jimmy Butler wants out of Miami, and Phoenix is widely reported to be one of Butler's preferred destinations. A deal between Miami and Phoenix cannot happen without Beal including this for salary purposes, but Beal has veto power over any deal via a no-trade clause, be it for Butler or anyone else. So if Beal holds all the cards, if the Suns want to make any sort of significant trade in which his salary is a necessary component, it is possible that his move to the bench isn't as much of a production, but rather an effort to alienate Beal to the point that he would sign off on a trade. Beal was asked about that on Monday. If so, I need to be addressed because I hold the cards, Beal said. Until I'm addressed and somebody says something different, then I'm going to be a Sun. So there you go. So it basically is stating that if Beal doesn't decide to say, hey, I want out, I want it to no trade clause, there ain't no deal gonna be done. So it's all in Beal's hands. And if somebody doesn't say something, then he's gonna stay as a Sun.
And yeah.
I personally, I don't know. I think the Phoenix does need some cojones. They need somebody that has some balls to really put some shit because they are very soft. They
got KD screaming at people and
but they're
KD
soft.
is not like that.
They're not physical. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're soft as a team, and they need that physical aspect. And Jimmy Butler brings that to Phoenix. Do I see how it works? No, it's kind of a similar situation with Beal and Butler. They're two different players, but it could be the same situation for both moves. Bradley Beal needs to get the hell out of Phoenix because I think it's not his team. I think he needs to go to a team where he'll be the number one guy, and I think Miami could be that one. You put Bradley Beal in Miami with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo.
Nah, it's not going to be the same. It's not.
I know it's not going to be the same, but I think that's the trade that would have to happen if they want to have it to Phoenix.
But I think Phoenix is going to have to give up more. I think they're going to have to give up some of their rotational players in order for them to get
Oh yeah,
Jimmy
it
Butler.
ain't gonna be like a 2-second easy thing. Yeah, of course they're gonna have to give up their guys.
I just feel bad, man, because the fact that now they're trying to force Bradley Beal into
That
saying
just
like
shows you how damn desperate they are.
they're desperate, and I don't know. Maybe he's trying to negotiate something behind closed doors. We don't really know.
Yeah, that's only the
But
reports we got.
would the trade work? You have three. If you put Jimmy Butler on the Suns, you have three ISO ball scorers. If you put him on the
Yeah.
Suns,
Well, Jimmy Butler's able to play without the ball, but
he
yeah,
he can play without the ball, but
he needs the
realistically, he
ball at the
wants
end.
the
Yeah.
ball. He
Mhm.
wants the ball, and he wants to score the ball.
But
And
you can implement somebody that's really doesn't take time off, is always there for your team. So if you have a guy like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker who keeps getting injured, you have that, and Bradley Beal gets injured all the time. So if you have that safety blanket in Jimmy Butler who could take over the team when you have your two big stars out. That's
but then for me, my fault. I didn't mean to cut you
no, you're
off,
good. I was done.
but for me, like if you have, let's say, KD's hurt, I don't think Devin Booker is gonna get hurt because he's been pretty good. He's been pretty reliable in that sense.
No, he's been hurt almost the entire year this year. It's been on and off,
Really?
on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off.
I mean, but then you got to think about it, and Jimmy Butler's gonna be put in the same situation. He's gonna be put in the same situation that he is in Miami, being the only person that's gonna score the ball. Especially if KD and Devin Booker are on day to days. You know what I
That's what I'm
mean?
saying. They might be doing that just for
Yeah,
um.
they're literally putting Jimmy Butler in the same situation that he's in Miami, except it's gonna be worse now because he doesn't have. If you take KD and Devin Booker out, who's the Tyler Hero of the Suns? Who's the Bam on the bio of the Suns? Who
Yusuf
Nurkic?
Nurkic.
No, man. So that's just my opinion, though. Like, you really need to take into account like what exactly he's gonna, be doing.
No, I get you. I get you. So yeah, this year so far, there's been 35 games played. He's missed. Well, he's only missed 5 games, but he's just not. He just doesn't feel like he's been in the spotlight that long for a bit.
I'm trying to see what I'm trying. Oh yeah, I was trying to see right now what games did he not play.
He's been on a 6-game absence, but he just got back last night.
Mm.
So it's not bad, but still, you don't want Devin Booker to be out for a while.
No, especially if he's been one of your best scorers as
Yeah,
well.
my bad. I'm gonna retract my statement. It hasn't. I just haven't seen him. I haven't heard a lot from him over the season. You usually hear a lot from Devin Booker. So,
Yeah,
uh,
but like in terms of his career, he's always been a
oh no,
reliable
yeah,
person.
he's
Yeah,
always been good. Yeah,
he's always been like a person that's like injury free, unless obviously a really bad injury happens, and he'll sit aside. But
yeah.
other than that, man, like he's very reliable. So if you really think about it, he could be the Tyler Hero, except just obviously better. I think he's better than Tyler Hero.
Oh, he's way better than Tyler Hero.
Yeah. So if you put him and Jimmy Butler together, if KD's hurt,
There you go.
you're putting Jimmy in the same position. You got a
Yeah.
downgrade version of Anabayo and Nurkic. I don't know. I mean, we just got to see how it really works out. I can't wait to see when Shams posts it on Instagram saying that Jimmy Butler is going to the Suns. If I see that he's going to the Warriors, I'm about to punch my screen. Well, it depends on who we trade to acquire him.
Yep. Without a doubt, I agree with that. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the show here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we got is hot. I'm your host, Zach Jackson. Here's my co-host, Irv. We are back at it again. This is season 6, episode number 17 on this Wednesday night. It's currently 6:21 p.m. Eastern time. I appreciate all the support out there, guys. And don't forget to check out the TikTok, Instagram, and Apple Podcasts and Spotify at the Fire Sports Pod. TikTok is the Fire Sports Pod _2.0. Don't forget to check that out. All right, guys. Last but not least, don't forget, guys, I said in the beginning, Lift, Leaf, and Repair, my landscaping business with my business partner, Joseph Estevez. Me and him are be doing landscaping. We're in New Jersey, so don't forget to check us out. You guys can contact me at 201-870-8826 or look me up on the Nextdoor app where you'll be able to see. Just type in Zachary Jackson or Lift, Leaf, and Repair. I'll see you guys on Friday for season 6, episode number 18, where we'll be recapping the Penn State versus Notre Dame game and the reluctious game between Ohio State and Texas coming out on Friday night. Let's go, Buckeyes! All right, guys, I'll see you guys on Friday. Peace out.